What is up, guys? Fallout back. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary from Blaze and Fatal Strike. I have a very, very special guest with me today. Not today, right now. And if you guys maybe have never seen this guy in your life, trust me, you will be seeing a lot of this guy in the next couple months. This is Mr. Sulz, basically the Jason Barbosa of the West Coast. I'm sure you've heard us talk about him. First time finally seeing him on camera. So do you want to introduce yourself? Tell him a little bit about you, your job, what you do, and who you are.
Absolutely. I am glad to be on the staff board up with Hyperstation. I do run the West Coast, and so we've had some stuff going out there for the SoCal Gears. We've got a great community going out there. I'm growing it bigger little by little, so that way we can get some of the West Coasters versus the East Coasters and have ourselves a big brawl going on there. And I'm sure that's what everybody wants to see, East Coast versus West Coast. It's like we had over in hockey.
Yeah,
New York
spot on.
Versus LA.
Like an all-star. We were hoping to get an all-star match going with the time constraints. We'll see if we have an opportunity to do that, but that would be sweet ultimately. But because at the end of the day, people know Gears of War traditionally is an East Coast game, and people say that the competitive community is huge in the East Coast. If we even throwing this event in Indianapolis, which is close to the East Coast, people still, we're in kind of in an uproar, host the events in the East because that's where all the Gears of War gamers are. But if you think about it, it's not like if you looked geographically at sales for Gears of War, Gears of War probably just sold just as much on the West Coast as it did the East Coast. Mm-hmm. It just didn't have the 4 MLG events every single year that the East Coast had. I mean, you had Meadowlands, you had Columbus, which is Ohio, essentially East Coast still. You had Orlando, which is southeast as well. So the California scene was never developed in the same way, and that's what Mr. Sulz is essentially doing. On another note, so that's his community-facing role. His business-facing role with Hyperstation, this is just something small he whipped together last minute, but he's been doing so much more than just this. First off, this wristband, we showed it earlier on stream. It actually awesome. So typically you get wristbands, they're kind of crappy. And no, this is a sweet Hyperstation wristband. So we got some merch for people. Basically as a way to say thank you for coming. He also made lanyards, just out of nowhere. This is stuff we've never had at Hype. Made lanyards for everyone just to make it a little more legit, a little more professional. And then last but not least, he got us this awesome gift for the Black Tusk Studios staff. To give to them, which has been super cool as well. We're going to mail this to Black Tusk Studios as a way to say thank you for coming to the event and really showing a lot of support, and they can put that on their desk and whatnot as well. It is actually heavy and it's awesome.
It's heavy.
It's sweet, man. It really is.
Yeah.
So, either way, I'm super happy to have you on board. You just kind of popped in, the past 6 months?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Exactly 6 months. Yes. I got a hold of Jason, kind of ironic, and I said, hey, man, do you need some help? I know you're being a part of bringing back Hyperstation and what have you. Let me help you out with the West Coast portion mix. I know you got your East Coast ready to go. It's already solid over there. Mm-hmm. So if we build up and get the solidation as far as the East Coast with the West Coast as well too, we'll have ourselves even bigger community, and we can grow ourselves even much more better than that. And I told him that I wanted to come aboard with my business sense and make this bigger and merchandising. And I've been doing some of that merchandising. I've been sending pictures to Jason, and he kind of laughs about it because I usually put whatever new props I come up with. He's like, oh my goodness, I come up with girls that are models, and I have them model it for, and he's like, oh my God, how do you get these people on here? It's like, hey, I just got to go with it. It makes it more enticing.
Yep, of course. Let me make sure. I'm sorry, I apologize, guys. I think we're getting in here soon. Is it Sealand that is hosting? I think it is. But yeah, so essentially, this guy right here, if you would have seen him this weekend, he's been, I want to say, professionally hustling.
Yes.
And you see him setting up short one-on-one, quick meet and greets with people. He's been very business-oriented, which I think is what Hyperstation needs, is someone with that business savvy and business mentality, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been setting up little mini-meetings, planning for the future, and trust me, guys, a lot of really cool things planned that are in talks right now about the future of Hyperstation prior to Gears of War 4 coming out, which is exciting. So things aren't ending now, which is really cool. Many thanks to this guy. But that being said, glad you were able to finally get your face on stream, and people can finally see who you are, because you're obviously a big deal. And I'm so glad to meet you this weekend finally. Obviously a lot of Skype calls and conversations.
Yes.
It's been awesome, man. So thank you for introducing yourself. I appreciate it. We're about to kick off here with these two teams coming up.